Hello again, you curious little shit stains. It's time once again for another
massive Forsaken news update.
I do coke, so I can work longer, so I can earn more, so I can do more coke.
Say hello to the Tangled Shore, one of Forsaken's brand new destinations. It's not a planet or a moon, rather a collection of asteroids lashed together with grappling hooks and cables. It's kinda like you're floating in the vast abyss of space. Now the Tangled Shore will finally allow players to explore the mysteries of the Reef, and I've gotta say I'm rather excited about this. You see, the Reef first appeared in the House of Wolves expansion way back in 2015. Players were introduced to the Vestian Outpost, a new social space, and the Prison of Elders, a new 3-player co-op mode. There were also a couple of campaign cutscenes that teased some deeper Reef lore, but nothing that players could really sink their teeth into until now. It's now 3 years after the House of Wolves expansion dropped, and we finally get to fully explore the Reef in all its lawless glory. After all, the Tangled Shore is where the majority of the campaign takes place, and just like every other major destination in Destiny, there'll be lost sectors to loot, patrols to complete, and public events to master. So then, let's have a look at a few examples. So then, let's start with a new Tangled Shore public event called Cryopod Escape. Now, the first part of this public event is pretty simple. You need to clear out 2 enemy waves. You see, these hive scum are trying to defend the escaped convicts who landed in the Tangled Shore in a cryopod. It's nothing you haven't seen before. Dropship arrives, dumps a load of enemies on you, kill the enemies, and then you activate the second part of this public event. Now, it's worth pointing out that the cryopod will at times emit a freezing gas that inflicts damage, so best to keep your distance when this happens. The Warlock in the background is using the new Chaos Reach Super, which is basically a beam of arc energy. The guy playing is using the new exotic bow Trinity Ghoul. Now, I've used this and I can confirm it is extremely satisfying and utterly lethal. So yeah, kill the fugitive to complete your event, and then you can pick up that sweet precious loot, which is, how do I say this without vomiting onto my own testicles? 1 blue item. Bungie, please buff the public event loot. Thank you. Next up, we have a new Tangled Shore lost sector called the Wolves Dock. The creatures you see here belong to a brand new enemy type, the Scorn. Now, these things used to be fallen, but since being locked away in the deepest, darkest corners of the Prison of Elders, tortured to death in terrifying experiments, and then reanimated, they've mutated into something quite foul. They're basically fallen zombies, by far the most aggressive enemy in Destiny. Let's have a quick rundown of all the new breeds of Scorn you'll face in Forsaken. Now, these spider-like bastards are the Scream. They've been killed and reanimated so many times that they crawl on all 4s. Now, it's worth noting that these things are stuffed to bursting point with dark ether, which explodes on impact, so you'll want to take them out before they get too close. Now, this may prove trickier than you may think, because they like to suddenly jump when you least expect it, the spider bastards. Next up are the Lurkers, shielded enemies who roam in packs and relentlessly push forward. Now, you'll need to stagger them by shooting their vulnerable spots, basically anywhere but their shield. Now, according to Bungie, they are far more aggressive than the shielded cabal you've grown used to fighting against, so yeah, that's something to look forward to, I guess. Next up are the Wraith, big hulking beasts who, if they spot you, will scream and charge you down. They want to bludgeon you to death with their torches, which is rather cute. Next up is the Ravager, who comes equipped with a swinging lantern. Now, pro tip, don't aim for the head, instead shoot the glowing lantern. That's its weak spot. If you hit it, it explodes in a big ball of flame which burns nearby enemies. Again, these things tend to roam in packs and charge straight at you, so if you score a lantern crit hit, this will help slow them down and weaken them. Be careful, because Ravagers have 0 chill, fam. Then we have the Raider, who fights from afar with long distance weapons like snipers, crossbows, and saw blades. Raiders also have a smoke dash, which allows them to quickly move around the map, find high ground, and keep attacking you from long range. And finally, we have the Scorn Chieftain, who come in 3 distinct flavors. The Solar Chieftain has a totem that spits out a constant stream of flame. The Void Chieftain has a totem that protects and heals any nearby enemies. And the Arc Chieftain has a totem that pulls you in and traps you until you destroy it. So yeah, if you spot a chieftain, take out his totem. Okay then, so back to the Tangled Shore lost sectors. This one is called the Pit because it's set in an illegal underground dogfighting pit. The Fallen have caged these war beasts until it's their turn to fight. Now, Bungie designed these new lost sectors to tie into the darker narrative tone of this new expansion. And check it out, the lost sector chest, which contains, again, how do I say this without coughing up blood? 1 blue item. Bungie, seriously fam, please buff the lost sector loot. Cheers mate, you see, I kinda like like my loot to be sweet and precious and not total dog shit. Thanks again for listening. Now, if you were hoping for Bungie to completely overhaul Lost Sectors in Forsaken, you know, to make them more challenging and reward better loot, well, you'll want to speak to this guy, Spider. He's the Tangled Shore's fallen vendor and offers bounties that involve hunting down outlaws. Now, these bounties have 4 difficulty levels, and yes, you'll need to purchase them, but the rewards, if you complete them, are well worth it. Now, if you take on the hardest bounty from Spider, you'll activate an objective to track down one of the most powerful outlaws that have escaped from the Prison of Elders. There are 6 unique outlaws to hunt down, and they can be found in Outlaw Lost Sectors. These are Lost Sectors that are far more challenging than what you're used to, and yes, they reward far better loot. This is the European Dead Zone Outlaw Lost Sector. The fugitive you're hunting here is a fallen captain called Silent Fang. Now, according to Game Informer, this Lost Sector felt like a mini strike. The fallen shanks you encounter here drop bombs that you'll need to pick up and throw at generators in order to take down the barriers that are blocking your progress. And you'll need to use this same gameplay mechanic when fighting Silent Fang. Now, as you can see, when you take out these fallen shanks, some of them will drop bombs. You'll need to pick one up and throw it at one of the various glowing generators that you'll find surrounding the boss. Do this and you'll take down his shield. Inflict as much damage as possible until his shield regenerates, and then rinse and repeat until he's dead. Now, according to Game Informer, only Guardians with high power levels will be able to take on Outlaw Lost Sectors. Now, in case you didn't already know, the new power cap is 600. Next up, we have the Titan Outlaw Sector. Now, the fugitive you need to take down here is a hive wizard known as the Gravetide Summoner. But before you can defeat this wizard, you need to take down the Gravetide Ogre that he summons, which is pretty straightforward. Again, you're going to need to be a high power level to get the job done, and check it out, the Titan's new Arc Super Thunder Crash, which basically turns your Guardian into a guided missile. And once you take the Ogre out, you can face the Gravetide Summoner, which, as you can see, just got F'd in the A. Now, if I'm honest, I'm more interested in the weapon being used here rather than the Outlaw Lost Sector. It's a new kinetic exotic auto rifle called Cerberus +1, and as you'd expect with an exotic, it's pretty damn unique. It has 4 different auto rifle barrels strapped together, and when you pull the trigger, they all fire at once, but in slightly different directions, which means you get a wide spread of bullets. When you're up close and personal, this gun can inflict massive amounts of damage because your target is eating 4 barrels worth of ammo at once. Ouch. Now, if this gun sounds unstable, well, that's because it is, but it does have numerous perks that allows you to adjust how it fires. The Spread Shot Package perk produces a more focused spread of bullets when aiming down the sight. Rifled Barrel increases the range but slows down the reload time. Fluted Barrel makes this auto rifle easier to wield and aim, and the Full Bore perk further increases the range but makes it less stable and lowers its handling speed. It really is a Frankenstein monster of a weapon, which makes perfect sense when you learn about this gun's backstory. This gun was built by a Guardian called Jezza Jeopardy Verilyn. She crash landed in the Tangled Shore, and to avoid being ripped apart by its inhabitants, she quickly cobbled together this weapon from the scrap she found around her. 4 different auto rifle barrels held together inside a rusted frame using metal clamps and powered by a mysterious source of energy called the Photonic Heart. Like I said, this thing is lethal at close range and great for taking out trash mobs or enemies with large weak spots such as servitors, but not so great in the Crucible. Now, it's worth noting that the middle bullet always fires straight ahead, so there is some predictability to the way this gun fires. Game Informer describes this gun as powerful, reliable, and an absolute beast at close quarters. Sounds like my kind of weapon, bring it the F on. Now guys, I almost forgot about these. When I was at E3, Activision gave me 2 Gambit emblem codes, and by all accounts they're pretty rare. Now, just in case you're curious, here's what the emblem looks like. Now, I've covered up the code because I'm gonna give this one away sometime this month. It's gonna be a super easy to enter giveaway that I'll explain in an upcoming video. Now, if you're interested, feel free to subscribe and turn on notifications so that when the giveaway does go live, you'll know about it. And guys, I'm also going to be giving away some super sweet RAVAGER gear in the next few weeks too. Chroma backlit keyboards and even Chroma speakers. Trust me, these things are absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, keep your eyes open for that too. It's just a thank you for being such lovely, passionate people. Cheers. Now guys, here's a quick reminder of all the upcoming July events. So from July 17th to the 23rd, we're going to get a new game update, the final faction rallies of Season 3, and the Supremacy Crucible playlist. From July 24th to 30th, we're going to get the Faction Rallies Winners Week and the Doubles Crucible playlist. And on July 31st, we're going to get a brand new event called Solstice of Heroes. Now guys, I'm going to make a detailed video about all of these things very soon, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And I'm also working on some big fat Forsaken news videos, so if you're into that kind of thing, you're in the right place. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a cheeky thumbs up, because believe it or not, it really does help. You see, it makes YouTube's hideous algorithm happy, and so more people get to see it. So yeah, you really do have power in that there fingertip of yours, so use it wisely. Also, it lets me know whether or not you like this kind of content, so thank you for your feedback. Now guys, if you want to watch another detailed Forsaken news video, click this. Thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for heaps more Destiny content, and thank you so much for watching, and as always, tee hee hee. Until next time, Guardians.